But the second reason why this fight is worth it is that growth is fundamental to opportunity. For years, I've advocated what I call opportunity conservatism, which is that every single policy we think about, we talk about, should focus like a laser on opportunity, on easing the means of ascent up the economic ladder. The biggest lie in all of politics is that Republicans are the party of rich. You know, the top 1%, those evil millionaires and billionaires the president demagogues against all the time. You know, under President Obama, the top 1% are earning a higher share of our national income than any time since 1928. But that shouldn't worry us because nothing bad happened after 28. Who has been hurt by the Obama economy? Who are the people who are hurt the worst? Who have been the losers under the Obama economy? They're the most vulnerable among us. They're young people, they're Hispanics, they're African Americans, they're single moms. Those are the ones losing their jobs. Those are the ones pushed into part-time work. Those are the ones losing their health care. And as Republicans, we should be championing opportunity for people who are struggling. What is the fight over Obamacare about? Let me share with you a couple of stories from pt5.org. Shannon from Toledo, Ohio, wrote, quote, "My name is Shannon. Both my husband and I are machinists. Since Obamacare has been enacted, our workplace stopped giving raises or bonuses. Our insurance premiums have doubled already and are due to go up dramatically for 2014. On top of that, our hours have been reduced. My 19-year-old son, who's attending college part-time, has a part-time job at Bob Evans as a servant. In the past, he was able to work up to 35 hours a week. About a month ago, he was told he could only work up to 25 hours a week as a direct result of Obama. In our family, 100% of the working people are seeing a negative outcome on our living wages due to Obama and his family law. Please continue to fight. Here's another story from Reagan, from Humboldt, Texas. My name is Reagan, and I am a single father. I have health care coverage through my employer, and I currently pay $320 a month for myself and my daughter. I am extremely worried and concerned that my premium is going to go up if Obamacare goes into effect. I live paycheck to paycheck, and I cannot afford my premium to rise. Please help. One more story from Sherry, from Fairmont, West Virginia. I have been forced to part-time employment because of Obamacare, and I now may lose my home because we will no longer be able to afford to make our mortgage. I have major medical issues, and I am losing my insurance and will be forced to obtain other insurance by cost of living. I was happy with my insurance and my job, but because of Obamacare, my life is in shambles. I was happy as a worker who was self-sufficient. Obama and his policies have driven me to a state of shame and embarrassment, replacing the pride and satisfaction I once felt as a result of my own self-reliance. God is not happy. These are real people feeling real pain because the Obama economic agenda does not work. And we need to make the case to every young person in the Hispanic community, the African American community, single parents struggling to provide for their kids, that the greatest engine of prosperity and opportunity the world has ever seen is the free market system of the United States. is like each of you, freedom for me is not some abstract concept you read about in a book. It's real in our lives. Gopal, you talked about coming as an immigrant. It's real in your life because you've seen it. You've seen the freedom this country gives. For me, my dad fled Cuba 55 years ago. As a teenager, he fought in the Cuban Revolution. He'd been thrown in prison and tortured by Batista's regime, beaten almost to death. Today, my dad's a pastor in Dallas. His front teeth are not his own, because they were kicked out of his mouth in a Cuban jail when he was a teen. When my father came to Texas in 1957, he was 18. He couldn't speak English. All he had was $100 sewed into his underwear. I don't actually advise carrying one. But for the young people who are here today, imagine being 18 in a strange land where you don't know anybody, you don't speak English, and you have nothing. He got a job washing dishes, making 50 cents an hour. He worked 7 days a week, paid his way through the University of Texas. Graduated, got a job, and went on to build a small business to work towards the American dream. When I was a kid, my dad used to say to me over and over, when we faced oppression in Cuba, I had a place to flee to. If we lose our freedom here, where do we go? That's why every one of us is here tonight. That's why we are fighting. Because as Ronald Reagan famously observed, freedom is not passed down from one generation to the next in the bloodstream. Every generation has to stand up and defend freedom so that one day we don't find ourselves answering our children and our children's children. What was it like when America was free? That's a question that not a single man or woman in this room wants to answer. And that's why we are fighting, because together, I am convinced, together, standing together, we can get back to our freedom principles, to our constitutional principles. We can restore that shining city on a hill that is the United States of America. Thank you, and God bless you.